We talked about Cardinals extension candidates. Could the Cards already be working a deal to keep one of their key vets on the roster beyond 2024, Johnny?
Plus, Brian Baldinger joins the show to talk about how great the Cardinals' offensive line is and if there is a path for this team to win the NFC West. PHNX Cardinals starts now.
Right now.
Hello and welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, live in Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. It's my co-host, Brack, in Studio K. Damon, Dawg behind the mic. As we mentioned in the opener, Brian Baldinger will join us live in just a couple of minutes to chat about our first place NFC West leading Arizona Cardinals, kicking their feet up, much deserved R&R on this bye week. 6-4 and an opportunity to get better, maybe sooner rather than later, per a new report, Brack.
That's right. Let me first use this opportunity, say what's up to everybody in the chat, hit this like button, and also take a look at some of our favorite diehards who are keeping the chat going 24/7, the exclusive member Discord, the Rickety Bridge, J Pearl, AZ, Gannonite, always dropping some good content in there. Our guy Craig, of course, Craig Morgan. He's always active in the diehard chat. Cole, we got our guy Devin, Sick of My Job, D. Lehman, Jess, of course, Chris C., the entire crew. We love all of our diehards that keep the conversation going nonstop. You want to join that? Become a diehard today. Go phnx.com.
Everybody be sure to drop a like on this video. There he is, sweet baby Trey. He's asking you after he just ends Sauce Gardner's career, hit that like button. In all seriousness, I guess like Sauce Gardner, after Trey McBride threw him to the ground, got spammed on social media, which is just terrible, by the way. So much so he has opted to disconnect from social media. He said that today per Jets reporters. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that's in reference to. Trey McBride throwing you into the turf. Like, yeah, I'd probably disconnect my social media too.
Yeah, well, if you want more of it, our guy Damon Dawg put together a sweet video that resides, I believe, in the shorts here, YouTube, PHNX Sports. Do we have it on our Twitter as well? It's on our Instagram too. And it's just Trey was talking about it to us on Monday. He's like, can't tackle tight ends high. And Sauce is just up there trying to just give him like a holiday photo, maybe prom date hug. And Trey McBride's like, get off me. And then hurdles a defender just a couple yards down the field. It was one of the many highlights from the Cardinals tight end.
Yeah, it's not a good matchup. And that was the point where the game was over. I mean, it was already kind of over. It's like 14-6. And then that drive, the chef's kiss, the coup de grace. Let's switch from offense to defense. We talked about it earlier this week. Could Budda Baker and James Conner find a way to get extensions before the end of the year? I think we both agree wholeheartedly. We're hearing James Conner is not going anywhere. I don't know if they've already discussed the parameters of a contract extension, but James Conner, we don't expect is going to be a free agent. Budda Baker, I think you and I are both very much like, yeah, we'd love to see him back. Will the Cardinals make it work? They've got Jalen Thompson. They've got Robert Taylor Demerson. Budda Baker is going to be 29. Well, according to a new report, ESPN ranked an early look at their top 25 free agents. Budda Baker was on that list, but it wasn't where he was ranked, disrespectfully, at 22, but it was the messaging that was attached to it. Damon, Dawg, let's see this graphic here. This is from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN saying, the people I've talked to believe there's a realistic chance Baker and the Cardinals can reach a new deal before free agency. Baker prioritizes winning, so if he believes that he can win big in Arizona, staying there is a viable option, Bo Brock. What do you make of this?
Well, you love to hear that, right? And I don't know. I mean, that was obviously the biggest issue, maybe sticking point when Baker, of course, had his public trade request, an offseason ago, right? In the 23 offseason. I think he saw that the Cardinals were staring down a full-on rebuild, and he only had one winning season since being drafted to this team in 2017, and was like, oh, I don't want to be a part of, more losing, and didn't expect them to be right back in the thick of things, a short year later. But, I think that that's what you love about a guy like Budda Baker is his want to win. And would he be able to give the Cardinals a bit of a discount in order to do so? I mean, they don't necessarily need it, but I think that they're going to look at, positional need, value, and of course, what they have on their roster. We know that there's an exciting young player that they took in the 4th round. It's not, a complete replacement, but it's an option as far as the successor. I think the Cardinals are going to have to do a good job here to make it worth Budda's while to sign a deal without testing the free agent waters. I think that that's the biggest key here, because I think it would benefit both sides for him to see what he could fetch on the free agent market, just based on how safeties are being, approached in the year 2020. Well, it will be 2025 of the NFL offseason.
So I'm with you. I was very staunch fast in my opinion that I can't see Budda Baker not testing the market, but maybe through his agent, they've already kind of determined what his market will be. I have no idea. If you look at 2 of the more recent safety extensions that were done were to Julian Love and Jabril Peppers. You remember that earlier this offseason?
Mm-hmm.
There's a catch with both of those. They play on bad teams, the Patriots and the Seahawks. Julian Love signed his contract. He's in his mid-20s. The problem with Jabril Peppers, he got a 3-year deal 2 days later. He's 29. But again, Patriots can't sign anybody. We joked at the time, Calvin Ridley, they couldn't pay him enough money. He didn't want to go there. So I think that the Patriots are a byproduct of we'll just kind of overpay our own because we have no choice, right?
You have to spend money, right? Yeah.
And so the Cardinals aren't going to operate like that. So I know there's good speculation in the chat. I'd love for everybody to put in there what you'd be comfortable with paying him. I don't see a scenario in which the Cardinals would go 3 years. I think that's not realistic. I think that might be realistic for Budda if he hit the market. To my co-host point, if he gets to the market and he gets offered 3 years, I think he's gone. But if there is an option, okay, you're going to play your seasons 29 and 30 with us on a team that has, Super Bowl aspirations, and you're going to be playing at this level, which is, he's going to make the Pro Bowl this year. He's going to get all pro votes for his efforts this year. 29, 30-year-old safety, hopefully that can age pretty well. 2 years, 20 million, maybe. He's making about 16 million per year. He's not going to, I don't think he's going to approach that, but 2 years, maybe 25 million with 15 guaranteed. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. It would have to be something. I think he would need the security of a multi-year deal.
Well, and the Bucs threw a bit of a curveball this offseason. They paid Antoine Winfield Jr., he's the highest paid safety in the NFL. He's making over $21 million on average per season, and got $45 million guaranteed, total contract of $85 million. I don't think you that's part of the conversation.
No.
You have to see guys who are of the similar age. I know Derwin James is up there, total contract of $76 million. You probably need to look at somebody on the higher end. Could he reach what Jesse Bates got from the Falcons 2 off seasons ago?
Jesse Bates, though.
Right. Jesse Bates is 27, and Budda's already older than that. He'll be 29 whenever he signs that deal.
That's why I think that Jabril Peppers contract, and they're not comparable players. I understand that.
Yeah.
But Peppers signed a 3-year, $24 million deal with $11 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
He's 29. So meet in the middle
a
there.
2-year, $30 million deal, get it done.
Yeah. Mine was 2 years, $25 million. I wonder with Budda now, because here's the tough part. If you're Budda Baker, why did he want to trade a year and a half ago? Because he wanted to either play for a winner or have the financial security to know that by the time the Cardinals were ready to win, that he would still be here and be paid accordingly. Well, Budda, the Cardinals are winning. They're winning, and you're a large part of that. And so I wonder how much does legacy mean to Budda Baker? He's on paper one of the greatest players in franchise history. He's got 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros. He's headed for another this year. I mean, he's got an outside chance to make the Hall of Fame, have his name up in the Ring of Honor, especially if the Cardinals keep winning. Does that mean something to him? I'm going to play I watched Larry Fitzgerald do it. I'm going to play my entire career as a member of the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe it does. Maybe we discredited that. Maybe he's already had conversations with Osford saying, like, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to figure this out. And if that's the case, kudos to everybody involved.
Yeah.
Because we talked about earlier this week, regardless, the Cardinals are going to have a banner off season. They're going to be the darlings of the league, and they're going to spend a bunch of money. But if we have to come on here and turn on the microphones about Budda Baker signing with somebody else, it's going to be a sad day.
It would absolutely be a tough day. I mean, it's a guy that even during the hard times was somebody that you could turn on the Cardinals game and find something to root for. It was Budda Baker. It was 3 flying around, the Cobra strike that's, coined by Baldy, who will come on later. He'll give us his thoughts on it. Yeah. I'm sure he's in the corner of, give Budda whatever he wants. But it's a little bit more of a delicate conversation than that. I mean, just based on positional value, where he's in his career, where the Cardinals are, where they are roster wise. They do have the financial flexibility to do so, but that's with the caveat of, if it's a 2 max 3-year deal. Like, I just can't see them going beyond that. Like, are they willing to play ball? His agent from Athletes First is known for getting the biggest safety deals done in the NFL. And I just don't see that. Like, now he's got to figure out with, an aging star relative to the league, what that's going to look like after signing a big money deal, the previous deal, and not seeing that big of a drop off in production.
Well, I think James Conner is going to get a 2-year deal minimum. I don't know if you're going to get a 3-year deal. I think James Conner, Derrick Henry is the comp in terms of the contract. 2 years, $16 million. James Conner, 2 years, what? Inflation, 17, 18 million. Like, I'm fine with that. Can you somehow get Budda Baker and James Conner back next year on a pair of 2-year deals and keep it both under like $50 million, like $45 million? I think that'd be a pretty big win for Monty Osford. Because go ahead.
I mean, and you look at the Cardinals, they're going to be around $100 million in cap space. You've got, roughly $10 million, you'll say, give towards your draft class.
Yep.
You've got a Trey McBride extension probably in the works. Trey
McBride's going to get paid. So right now, Travis Kelce's the highest paid tight end at $17 million per year. Then Hawkinson and Kittle are right behind that.
He's going to get a Hawkinson deal. I think he would get a Hawkinson deal based on his age.
About $16-17 million a year. I mean, he's earned it.
Sure, he sure has. And you have the flexibility to do that. And so then you start talking about paying Conner and Budda, and these are going to be mostly, like, for the most part, guaranteed deals because of the length of the deal. There'll be 1-2-year contracts. It's like, okay, well, you're starting to see a big chunk of that already come out of the salary cap, that you had going into the offseason. So it really is interesting. Like, can they find a number that makes sense, that's going to match the production that they're going to get, and also not put them in a position where they feel uncomfortable that they're giving as far as a position that they feel that they could probably find production wise. I'm not saying like what he brings to the locker room, what he brings to practice on a day-to-day basis, but what they would get production wise from the safety position. They would probably have to, like, I think as it stands right now, overpay to get that done.
Were you surprised to see this today?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that all signs are pointing to James Conner coming back, right?
Yeah. Nothing changes that, by the way.
And like, I think you can't deny that Budda Baker's having an unbelievable season. Already over the 100 combined tackles mark. He had his first sack since, the 2022 season on Sunday. And he's had 2 pass breakups. I think he's been a little bit better in coverage. Like, but you still know what his strengths are. Like, I think what he's been able to do to create negative plays is very valuable to the Cardinals defense. But at the same time, it's like at this stage in his career, like, with his size, with the amount of hits he's taken? Like, is it a smart investment? Like, I think it's fair to have those conversations. Now, it's like, it's not going to be without, people being, off put by it because they just love Budda Baker unconditionally, and they should. So it's really strange. It's an interesting combo for sure. It's polarizing.
It is polarizing. Budda Baker, no picks this year, no forced fumbles. He does have a sack. He has 100 tackles already in 10 games. So he's on pace for about 170 sacks, which would be a career high for him. Most he's ever had, 147 back in 2019. A bad Cardinal team, the worst Cardinal team, one of the worst. So I mean, he's on a list of free agents, by the way. Like, it's very kind of sobering. I think we think the Cardinals are going to be major players in free agency for like one or two like pretty big ticket moves. They do not need to go and take this 120, 115, depending on where you see it, $100 million, and allocate it toward like 10 guys, which is good. You take care of Trey and Budda and James potentially, and maybe an Evan Brown comes back. And then you go out and you make a splash move here and there on the defensive line, and then you're basically done. Because the best part about this season, outside of the K1JG revenge tour, is the meat of your roster is just kind of approaching their peak years, or they haven't reached it yet. I mean, we're talking about Starling Thomas and Paris Johnson Jr., all these young players. Tip Ryman is getting credited on Pat McAfee. I mean, it's just a wild time. And those are guys that the casuals don't know. But then you look at this list, Bo, and I'm gonna quickly read off the top 10. The top 10 free agents right now, according to ESPN, and you tell me how many you think the Cardinals with the second most cap space would be interested in.
Okay.
Rapid fire. T. Higgins, 26 years old.
Out.
Trey Smith, guard for Kansas City, 26 years old.
Probably out because they're not going to overspend on the guard position.
Javon Holland, safety, Miami, 25.
Good player, but out.
DJ Reed, corner, 28 years old. Jets.
I mean, if you look at the short where Marv just roasted him,
we'll put him off to the side. Cardinals have corners.
That was a dime, though.
It was a beautiful ball.
I think corners fall off a little bit early. They tend to if they're not elite guys. So I'm out on a 28-year-old corner.
Okay.
How about a 29-year-old corner? Charvarius Ward for the Niners. They just signed another guy today. Out. Amari Cooper is the sixth best free agent at 31. Barf. I think we're all out on that.
He's 31.
Isn't it nuts? How about Ronnie Stanley at 7? He's 31.
Yeah, but he's had some knee problems, hasn't he? The tackle for Baltimore. He was a really good player for a long time. Out.
Sam Darnold, 28, at the 8th best free agent. I'm going to skip ahead to the 10th best free agent and come back to number 9.
Okay.
Chris Godwin, 29 years old, 10th best free agent.
Yeah. I just don't think they need receivers. All right. Well, who else are you going to go? Who are you going to skip back to?
Number 9 is one Hassan Reddick at 30 years old. And then it's a lot of Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Rasul Douglas, DeMarcus Lawrence. So you look at that, and it's like, I'm as guilty as anybody. It's like, man, I don't want to invest in older players.
Yeah.
That's what this free agent market is. So if you're going to re-sign players, you might as well keep the people in-house that you know, that you trust, that are a part of your culture. They're going to go out and make a splash or two on the defensive line. It might have to be via trade, and we're going to talk about that ad nauseum, Bo. But looking at those names right now, I mean, who are you going to pay on that list over Budda and James Conner? I would say next to nobody.
Right. And like they're not going to be in the conversations for, I mean, maybe Hassan could be comparable as far as what contract he'll fetch, 30 years old.
Yeah.
But he's still a premium position. Like he's still going to command, I think, upwards of $20 million a season. And then, DeMarcus Lawrence, that's an interesting name.
Matt Judon? Anyone?
Scraps. Better be.
How old is he now?
32.
They were interested, though.
Azeez Ojulari. I like that name. He'll be a free agent.
Wasn't even on that list. He wasn't even on that list.
I hate that list. I think that list stinks, by the way.
I have
It's
one
a big-time stinker.
that's semi-related to Hassan Reddick in a way, but if you want to bring in like a veteran edge presence, Brandon Graham coached him for a while.
Isn't he like 100 years old?
Yeah, he's 100.
I think he's like in his late 80s.
Calais Campbell's 100 too, and
That's
he's
true.
like a top 5 D lineman in the league this year.
He beat the Rams by himself on Monday Night Football. It was great for the cause. Wow. You look at that. That's a sobering list ahead of free agency.
If I were to ask you right now, is Azeez Ojulari or Hassan Reddick? You got to pick one for free agency. Who are you taking? Azeez is going to be 25, and Hassan's going to be 31. You would.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
The track record with Gannon, his body is fresh. The first couple of years in Arizona, he like barely played and didn't play the right position. He just sat out this year. And then Ojulari, like clearly they didn't like Ojulari because they didn't trade for him. And what does everybody tell me about Ojulari? Well, he's playing next to Dexter Lawrence and opposite Brian Burns. You know what I know about Hassan Reddick? When Hassan Reddick is in this system with Nick Rollis and Jonathan Gannon, he destroys people. He eats people alive. 17 sacks. So I know people in the chat.
We're going to be 3 years removed from that. We're going to be 3 years removed from that.
Oh, that
got a half sack in 3 games.
I mean, like, what are you giving? I think you can get Hassan for a 1-year deal. I think Hassan Reddick can come here on a 1-year deal.
But if you were to prioritize things early in the offseason, you're like, okay, we need an edge. Who are we going after? Who are we prioritizing?
Hassan Reddick.
Taking a 25-year-old or a 31-year-old? Knowing this franchise? Give me the guy with the track record. Because then if they don't, Bo, trade for a pass rusher, just use your first round pick on a young guy. Then you got two. I prefer that. I would prefer that having
get a pass rusher out of the SEC in the 20s and get Hassan Reddick on the other side. And then Xavier Thomas and Zaven Collins can be backups where they should be. And then, I mean, listen, if they like Baron Browning plays well, they're going to re-sign Baron Browning.
Josh Sweat as well. Another former Eagle.
The Cardinals could have had Josh Sweat.
What's he about, 28?
27 right now. He will be 28 next year.
That ain't bad. You got to make sure that clearly they have a tight
season. Like we got so much. It's gonna be electric. Obviously, the next couple of weeks as the team's firmly in a playoff chase. But the fact that they've got like the pieces in place, and then they just need to add to it, especially at that position.
We deserve it.
There's some dogs out there.
No one deserves it more than us.
Except Johnny wants the old dogs. Johnny wants the old dogs with like the limp.
A cataract.
Yeah, you have
on one eye.
Yeah, you have to put like its pill in like some cheese and get
they
it
need
to
love.
take it.
They need love.
Like these, we want these fresh young pups that are hungry. What is he, 31? All right.
Leave him alone. He should have been here. I could have saved him. Like this video. We got Baldy around the corner next on PHNX Cardinals. I love girth. RIP Tank Tuesday. We've come a long way since we were rocking our tanks and our Monty bald caps. Now we're living the sweet life. First place, baby. In the meantime, we're fired up with our guy, Brian Baldinger. He's coming just around the corner. But, you know, we're here on PHNX Cardinals. We're fired up. We got the bye week. We're kicking our feet up. And we're talking about our friends at Circle K. It's America's thirst stop, is it not? Damon, Dawg, what is your favorite Circle K, let's just call it delicacy, that you like to go pick up?
I love the milk chocolate covered almonds. I just scoop them up every time I go there pretty much. They're unreal.
Bo, do you have a favorite?
What a snack.
Yeah, the powdered donuts.
Oh, wow.
I've been rocking those since freshman year of college. You just get a nice sleeve of powdered donuts, polish it off in the car. The evidence is always left behind.
I'm surprised that flies in your house. Here's what I will say.
Not everybody has to know.
You're hiding it.
Just us here and all you great people in the audience.
Yeah. We in the studio, we're very fortunate when I come in, when we do the game day shows, there's a bunch of inner Circle K goodies available. And there are these cherry candies that Circle K makes.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a problem where I will eat an entire bag of candy the entirety of the day watching the Cardinals on their 4-game winning streak. So when Jonathan Gannon called me out, I felt like he saw into my soul when I come into the studio because I just can't stop eating Circle K candy. You can't stop saving money with the new free membership program. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Save 3 cents per gallon every single day as a member of the Inner Circle. Again, snacks, drinks, 79-cent Polar Pop or
These bad
Froster.
boys.
Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com, Bo, for more details.
Yeah, my family's about to throw an intervention here for these cherry sours. It's like, Bo,
Oh,
you're
they're
ruining
so
your
good.
life. Yeah, they're unbelievable. Also, what's unbelievable is when you're out there adventuring and you want to protect one of your main assets, your eyes. You also want to look cool. Well, how about with premium polarized shades from our friends over at Shady Rays? The temperatures have finally dropped here in the Valley of the Sun. We're getting outside, going on hikes. We're doing great things. And why not, do what 300,000 plus people have done? And they've got their shades that are durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor adventures. 300,000 people, as I said, have spoken, giving them a 5-star rating online. Check them out for yourself. ShadyRays.com and use the promo code PHNX to get 35% off your pair of Shady Rays. And if you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair and they'll return worry-free within 30 days. No risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. Personal, fast support. Exclusively for our listeners, as I said, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to ShadyRays.com. Use the code PHNX for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shady Rays, PHNX, on the website to save money.
Yes, I will never, ever wear another pair of sunglasses. Now, not the specific sunglasses I lost in the Hawaiian Ocean when I was in Hawaii with my beautiful wife, and a wave crashed over me, and my Shady Rays went out to sea. My swim trunks had come down, and I was looking around for help, and no one helped me.
Nobody was there.
The only help I had was my cell phone and getting another pair of Shady Rays for like
Right
under
then.
$40.
That's right. The ocean was angry that day, my friend.
Did Johnny just drop that the wave took his swim trunks
He
as
did.
well?
They almost did. I mean, like they were on me, but they weren't on me, if you know what I mean. Thankfully, everybody was super cool, super chill about it, but couldn't find my Shady Rays. It was sad. Yeah, times were tough. Everybody be sure to drop a like on this video. Baldy around the corner. But first, let's hit up some super chats.
Yeah,
as we
let's do
await
it.
our NFL analysts. How about Greg, $2? Kyle Brandt losing his mind about McBridezilla on NFL Network. I mean, Kyle Brandt, if everybody in the media was anti-Cardinals, Kyle Brandt was pro this offseason. We tried to get him on the show, but I feel like that's coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
Bo.
we'll make it happen with KBs. That did now, Greg, let us know that he coined McBridezilla. I kind of like that. Still be true to McBridesmaids, but I like that as a backup.
McBridesmaid is untoppable by this chat. Reezy baby, $10. Thank you so much for your support on that level. Sorry I haven't caught a live show in a while. No worries, Reezy baby. This team should be thought of as the second best team in the NFC. 12 wins plus 2 playoff W's. Bring back Budda, JC, Kazir White. There's another name we forgot. Evan Brown, and still cap room to add. Immaculate vibes. I love all that.
No doubt about it.
I mean, like they're a top. I think they're a top 3 team on their best day. I think Philadelphia, even though they have Fraud Sirianni, Philly's got a bunch of players and they're playing well. But Lions are obviously number 1. But you throw the Cardinals in there with the Atlantas of the world for sure.
No doubt about it. Love it, Reezy baby. And there's a section of listeners of PHNX Cardinals that are, they watch on replay, they listen to the podcast. We love the people in the live chat, but we love everybody equally as far as anybody who consumes the show. Reezy, it's great to have you back for a live one. And jumping back in with $2. McBride extension won't hit the cap till 2026. Great point. Because he's got his rookie deal through next season that as a second-round pick through 2025.
Reezy baby with another $10. Thank you so much. We have a 2-year window to pay these late 20-something vets that we love that are helped change the culture and win. Pay them, add one big piece on the D-line, speaking my language, and don't forget the Baron Browning extension. You probably get Baron Browning for very little if you wanted to come back and build up his resume and help himself maybe in a future offseason. Absolutely. I am all for Bo. Give Gannon as many defensive linemen as possible. Give Nick Rallis 6-7 guys, rotate. Because they went into this year, I mean, outside of Ojulari, it was a lot of unknowns. Give me some known quantities this offseason.
Absolutely. I mean, just you think back to Gannon when he was just the cupboard was full in Philly with just all those defensive linemen. all that beef, and then those edge rushers that can do everything that he and Nick Rollis want them to do. 73 sacks. It was unbelievable. So Reezy baby knows ball. No doubt about it. So great to hear from you. Great to have you back on the live show. You can join us as we are joined right now, ladies and gentlemen. We are joined by our NFL analyst. Of course, you can see his great work online on his Twitter account at Baldy NFL. Doing great work each and every week, breaking down this 2024 season. And yeah, making sure his lips aren't chapped. Our guy Baldy joins us. What's going on, Baldy?
Guys, it's good to be with you. It's good to be an Arizona Cardinal fan, supporter, analyst, anything part of that organization right now.
It's good to be in first place. 6-4, entering the bye week. Best case scenario probably that we thought was realistic. Yet when you watch the tape, and I know you watch it better than anybody, the breakdown, the beatdown of these last two games, Chicago and then the Jets, it's like more of the same. It was very humbling to watch as a Cardinal fan, knowing how far this organization has come. But specifically, like, what impressed you the most with that Jets game that was very non-competitive at times?
Well, just how dominant they were from the opening drive of the game. The Jets acted like they'd never seen a quarterback keeper from Kyler, which, is disappointing if you're a Jet fan. But no, just the way that they took him apart. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball to Davante Adams. Like, they have a legendary history together. They look like they had never played together before. They couldn't get an explosive play against him. The offense is clicking. They're flat out running the ball every week right now. Now you're seeing Trey Benson get into it. Kyler is doing a great job of getting the ball around. I think we all understand that Trey McBride is an elite player. And he has to, you've got to figure out ways to contain it. I mean, you just feel what Gannon has done to create this complete team vibe in the organization right now, how they pull for each other and how well they looked and how well coached they look. But I guess that was the biggest contrast, how poorly coached the Jets looked and how well coached the Arizona Cardinals looked.
Yeah, Gannon says a connected team, right? It feels like from top to bottom, all 53, no doubt about it. We've seen the Cardinals win several different ways this season. They've, won by the skin of their teeth for a couple of games, some walk-off wins, and then they get the dominating ones this previous week. When you look at this team overall, though, like them taking, like, we're never going to turn our nose up on W's. We've seen far too few of them in the desert, but was it them taking advantage of a pair of bad teams the last 2 weeks against Chicago and New York? Or do you see the Cardinals as a very viable team in the NFC now?
Well, I just saw the 49ers get last week, and they can, obviously they went to San Francisco and won. We just saw the Rams get beat and got scored a touchdown, Monday night against Miami. I mean, they're as good as any team in their division right now. And to put the 49ers above them simply because of the 49ers, and they were in a Super Bowl a year ago, you can't do that. Every year is a new year. They've just won 3 in a row, and they get a week off before they get a division game against Seattle. I believe that this is a team that's going to compete every week and play good football. And we're just we've talked about this in prior shows, but Marvin obviously gets a big play, but I mean, we haven't seen the best of Marvin Harrison yet. And I just feel like he could be one of these second half, like, for example, last year, the Rams got an unbelievable second half from Kyron Williams. It fueled them into the playoffs. I believe, look, Marvin's got 6 touchdown catches. Not like he's not contributing. But I believe he could be a dominant player still. And if you get him involved with McBride and you look at the running game and you look at the way Kyler's taking care of the football, I mean, Marvin could be one of those jumping off points that can actually take this team to another level. Because if you could get just the way the Rams saw Puka Nacua last year, you see these teams lean on the receivers, red zone, third downs, big plays, comebacks. I mean, it'd be good to get Marvin really going. And if that's the case, they might be very difficult to slow down.
Baldy, we kicked off the show with a potential new report that standout All-Pro safety Budda Baker may reach a deal with the Cardinals before he hits free agency. Now, he's 29 years old to be, but he's in a career renaissance this year. He already has 100 tackles. Like, I know your opinion on this, but just what makes him so special for this team, and can they afford to let him leave?
No, they can't afford to let him leave. Safeties are hard to find. They really are. I mean, you have to go to the free agent market to get safeties. You don't draft them. Every once in a while, you find Brian Branch, Detroit. Every once in a while. But by and large, the safety position is one that you got to go to the secondary market to get. And if Budda hits the market, he'll set the. He doesn't have the takeaways that you want that other safeties might have, like when Jesse Bates was available. But Cincinnati's never recovered from losing Jesse Bates. But Budda Baker right now is the heartbeat of the defense. He shows up every week. Nobody plays harder. Nobody is first. You talk about, first to contact. Nobody gets to contact quicker than he does. And his style of play is just contagious. It's just absolutely contagious. And, you can see his leadership style. It starts with him. And I know Budda's not a real vocal guy, but there's a lot of different ways to lead. He does it by example. They can't afford to let him go. Or Jalen Thompson. I know Jalen didn't play last week. You got Adrian, who knows, but I think both those guys in the back end are a pretty good tandem.
Yeah, good PBU from Rabbit. It was good to see him in the action. He played every snap. I know you've been a big fan of him since his Texas Tech days in his pre-draft there. But, Budda priority, it seems like, for the Cardinals. Let's go to the other side of the football. Another vet at an undervalued position in this league, running back James Conner entering a contract season as well. It seems like it's probably going to be pretty carbon copy as far as what you said about Budda. You can say about JC too.
Well, I don't think that the Cardinals could be where they're at this year without James Conner. Just his story alone, but just his belief and love of the game and the second opportunity he's got from, what the condition he had, back in college where, there was doubts that he could ever play the game. He just brings everything to an organization that you want. You got to have certain pillars in the building that just, can fetter out, the pros from the non-pros, from, the guys that don't take it serious to what you need to be committed. Budda and James Conner. Those are the two guys that, in addition to Kyler, those are the two guys you lean on over everybody else. And Kelvin Beachum to a degree. He's getting an opportunity now. But, there's certain guys that when they come out of the tunnel in Seattle next week and that 12th man is making all that noise, there's certain guys that you can lean on coming out of that tunnel. That they're going to put it all on the line. And the guys I just mentioned are going to do that.
Baldy, I know you've done really nice breakdowns of the Cardinals' offensive line, but I want to focus on their left tackle, Paris Johnson Jr. We've been on the record. This rebuild started about 18 months ago. And they made some additions in free agency. Obviously, Gannon and Austin Ford being hired was the focal point. But I do really believe this change of culture happened when they took Paris Johnson Jr. 6th overall out of Ohio State. Where is he amongst some of the best young tackles, left tackles in the NFL to you?
Well, when you look at, left tackles, it always starts with Trent Williams, and he's earned that right to be that guy. But, the fact that, Paris, I don't believe he's missed a snap, so far in 2 years now. I think he's played every snap. The fact that he went from right tackle to left tackle, I would put Tristan Wirfs up there, I saw San Francisco, Tampa last week. I thought they were the two best left tackles in football. But, Paris is – and those guys have done it at the highest level. They've got Super Bowls, all that stuff. So, the postseason is where some of this stuff really gets – you really start making a name for yourself when you're going up against Nick Bosa in a playoff game. You're seeing some of the elites out there. But regardless, the consistency that he's playing with is remarkable. What happens is you're a right tackle and you play every snap at right tackle last year, and they'll tell you, okay, here we go. We're making this move. We're putting you to left tackle. I don't think he balked at it. I think he was prepared for it. But the reason why he should embrace it is he's got the ability. He's got the athletic ability. He's got the fast twitch. He's got the length. All the things you're looking for in that position, he's got. Now it's just a question of, okay, we just got to kind of reverse things a little bit from a year ago. And he's made the transition about as smooth as you can make.
Seems like Lamar Jackson's poised to win his third NFL MVP this season. The numbers are following along with wins for the Ravens if they continue on as one of the top teams in the AFC. But with all that being said, Kyler Murray's had 3 eye-popping performances this season. Week 2 against the Rams, perfect, quarterback rating. What he did in Miami and leading the team back, and then this past week, NFC Offensive Player of the Week, 3 total touchdowns. He missed his first pass, Baldy, and then he proceeds to go 22 for 23. How do you evaluate K1's performance this year?
Well, I mean, always the quarterback position always starts with, ball security. Are they giving it to the other team? Like, they may be making, big plays, but are they taking care of the football? Right now, Kyler's got the 3 interceptions. I think he's fumbled 2 or 3 times, but for the most part, he's taking care of the football. He's breaking in a new receiving core, a rookie wide receiver, a second-year player in Wilson, different little Greg Dortch. But I think he's grown up. I think he's now mature. I think he now understands a little bit about what's involved in preparing every week. But, these last 3 weeks, I mean, I think at some point last week he completed 17 in a row, and he's making it look easy. The guy on the other side, the 40-year-old quarterback on the other side, nothing looked easy. Now, maybe that's a product of being 40, but he's making it look easy right now. And if you're an offensive lineman and Kyler's getting – because it used to be they played the Patriots a couple of years ago and Belichick just keep him in the pocket. He can't win from the pocket. Well, he's winning from the pocket. Now he's getting out of the pocket when he does, and his eyes are down the field and he's making the throws. And then his last alternative right now is to run. It's his third choice. But you don't see the frenetic play from him. You see a real calmness to what he's doing. I think it kind of sets the tone for the team. Like, we expect to play at a high level. It starts with me. The offensive line's doing their job. We're running the ball well. Like, I just think everything about the development of him is now showing game day and on the field.
Baldy, where are you prepared to rank him in the NFL? Like, where do you think he falls as far as the NFL quarterbacks?
Well, I think right now you have to put him in the top 10. I mean, you always start with Mahomes, and there's like Josh Allen, and you go through Joe Burrow, and you could go through somebody, Lamar, obviously, but however you want to rank, those guys are probably top 5. I just mentioned, just off the top of my head. Stafford's up there. Forget about what the stats say about Goff last week. He was really good. He threw a Hail Mary interception. He had a ball, knocked out of his hands for his. He's played at a high level. But, you get through the top 6 or 7, he's right there somewhere between 7 and 10. And, that list can change week to week, or if you're a fan or not a fan, whatever. I mean, they're pretty subjective. But it's kind of hard not to put Kyler in the top 10 right now. I mean, is Brock Purdy in the top 10? Probably, but he hasn't been great this year. He hasn't been as good as Kyler. So, because he does give you an element of extending plays, but not like what Kyler can give you. And the fact that he's able to protect himself, slide, get down, get up, and playing every snap right now without even a hint of being nicked or injured at all.
I'm not going to ask you to rank Trey McBride, but you called him elite earlier this week. Doesn't have a receiving touchdown yet. Really, I want to say not through his own fault, but just circumstances. The Cardinals like to run the ball in the red zone. Like, it's obvious. He's got a rushing touchdown. But, like, you talk about, I think it's a short list of, like, George Kittle. You want to throw Travis Kelce in there. And then I got to assume you've got McBride, like, shortly after those guys. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, you might go Mark Andrews is certainly coming on right now in Baltimore. He's a factor. I don't want to leave anybody out right now, but I would say just his ability to run after the catch, his ability to get open, the way that he's able to, throw Sauce Gardner off his back, leap over a defender. You see the athletic ability and the strength. I mean, at the end of the day, tight ends have to catch touchdown passes. And so that's the next step is, can he be a big red zone threat the way Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson have connected over the last 5-6 years? Like, that's the next step for him. I mean, in Kansas City right now, Kelce's been targeted 40 times in the last 3 games. I mean, no receiver in the NFL is getting as many targets as Travis Kelce. So, You look at K-Dot, and he's coming on in Tampa right now. He's becoming a really good player with the injuries to wide receivers. That's the next step, really, for Trey is, to get into the end zone.
Final question, Baldy. We've been starting to look forward, previewing the final 7 games for this Cardinals team, and the schedule thins out. It was a gauntlet to start, played the likes of the Bills, the Lions, the upstart Commanders. Now it thins out. They've got a struggling Seattle team up next in week 12. They've got them twice. They've got the Patriots, the Panthers. Got the Niners getting back to full strength. McCaffrey's coming back. What's it going to take for this Cardinals to finish the job and maybe win that NFC West title?
Well, they're 2-0 in the division, and they got these division games coming up. And if you want to win the division, you got to win in the division. So I think it's going to come down to how they play in the division. They've gone to San Francisco. They've won. They've beaten the Rams. Rams are usually a second-half team. You're going to get their best shots. Everybody believes in the division right now that they can win the division. There's not a team, Seattle, the Rams, even though they didn't look good the other night, they didn't score a touchdown. I think every team believes they can win the division. So that's what it's going to come down to, is how they play in these division games. They kind of count for 2, because if there's any sort of a tiebreaker, it's going to come down to head-to-head competition. That's going to be the first tiebreaker. So, you got these games at the end of the year, against the Rams and 49ers. It might very well come down to New Year's Eve and, the final weekend of the year.
Baldy, who would have thought last year at this time the Cardinals had 1 win and we're waiting for Kyler Murray to return after the bye. Here we are ahead of the bye week, 6-4 for the Arizona Cardinals. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully we're talking maybe some postseason football here with you on PHNX Cardinals.
Well, I hope so too. I don't believe this is a fluke. I don't believe they're winning these games the way they're winning, because there's some teams that will play down to their competition. They never let the Jets get into the game. They never let Chicago get into the game. That's what good teams do. They play their brand of football and let them try to catch up, and they're not allowing them to do that right now. And so credit the job of this coaching staff and what Monty's done so far.
Baldy's the best. Check him out, NFL Network, All-City NFL analyst, Brian Baldinger. Thank you so much, Baldy. Thanks, appreciate guys. You.
Yep, my pleasure. Talk to you next week.
The greatest breakdown of tape there is, Brian Baldinger. We've got more fun coming up right around the corner here on PHNX Cardinals. Speaking of fun, how about our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos? Watch party, baby. Wild Horse Pass. We're going to be there a week from Sunday, but don't let that stop you. Go out there ahead of time. 4,500 slots, live table games, or catch all the action in Arizona's largest sportsbook casino. Go big and go home a winner. From upscale to approachable, casual to classy, from bar to bar none. The selection there of dining options is chef's kiss. Always good taste. Elevate your experience with literally unbeatable views from the rooftop restaurant Prime A. Shula Steakhouse. Yes, please. You know how I like my steak, fellas. 12-ouncer, 14-ouncer. With an unprecedented level of entertainment and excitement, you're not going to find a better place. And again, come out to our watch party. Suns are having watch parties. Suns white flipping hot in the Western Conference. Cardinals first place in the NFC West. The only way we keep these vibes going is with you, with our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts. Play at Gila.com. Visit them for more info.
Johnny, I've got that itch again. And I need to scratch it. It's called pickleball. I got pickleball fever, baby. Ooh. Chicken and pickle. Join us actually for our Chicken and Pickle PHNX tournament. That's all the proceeds go to Operation Santa Claus. It's going to be December 14th. Don't miss out. But in the meantime, gear your game up over at Chicken and Pickle out in Glendale, in the shadow of State Farm Stadium. Hang out, $30, and see Chicken and Pickle will validate your parking. They're going to, that's for Cardinals home games. That's where you're going to need validation. But outside of that, you can just go park, get in the restaurant, eat some good food, drink some great beverages, cocktails, beer on tap. What else do you need? You got some table games and pickleball. Of course, if you're new to pickleball, they got newbie nights just for you. Get to the courts, and the others who are going to dink around. Instruction facilitated as well. Plus, every participant receives a $10 Chicken and Pickle gift card. Check out more, chickenandpickle.com, and see all the fun you can have at their Glendale location.
Hold or fold the line. It's a Wednesday afternoon. I'm 2-0. My last 2 picks, and Damon and Bo lost. Let's do it. Hold or fold the line on a bye week. I can't
You're
pick.
disgusting. You disgust me.
I can't pick my sweet baby
No.
Carolina Panthers. They're not playing this weekend, but let's see the season standings, Damon. If we could, your boy, he's creeping plus 200 the last 2 weeks. He's making money for your friends. I feel like that number should be higher. I'm sorry, minus 2.8. I feel like I should be in the green. Where are my dollar signs on my eyes, please?
You were -8 and you've hit 2 picks in a row, Johnny. You've made a big dent in it. But I just want to say this might be the official earnings tracker, but it's not the earnings tracker in my book.
Okay.
It just isn't.
Right, well.
I'm sitting here at 1.8 after a loss last week. I'm ready to stir up some controversy.
Oh,
Okay, cry about it. Let's hear it, Damon.
Before last Wednesday's show, when I made my pick, I was unaware that Trevor Lawrence was potentially not going to play. It gets reported on Thursday when we don't have a show that Mac Jones will be starting for the Jaguars, and the line changed. I asked Johnny before our Friday show, can I change my pick? No games have been played yet. It's even more plus money, my new pick. And Johnny goes, no, you can't. He tells me straight up, no, you can't. Bo said it was fine. Johnny says it wasn't fine.
I didn't say it was fine.
Oh,
He
Bo
didn't
said it was
say
fine.
I
Absolutely
I
did.
said, have at it, Haas.
And so here's my unofficial
Oh,
scorebook that I have
gross.
made.
Wow. That's way better, Damon.
Yeah, it is actually, because here was my pick that I wanted to change it to. And of course, pretty Ricky Pearsall, 47-yard touchdown in the first quarter, plus 350, basically cashes it. And I brought some proof to the table, boys.
Oh my God, look at these
Wow.
screenshots. How
Yeah.
long did this take you?
Receipts.
Some things are important, Johnny. Some things are important in life. And
I haven't heard from Damon all day. He's been in the lab cooking these up, these screen grabs. Fine, Damon. Take your selfish plus 350. Plus money.
The official scorebook is what it is. I just want the people at home to know that Johnny is doing everything he can to bring me and Bo down.
Sad.
Well, I hold with Johnny for when he picks the Panthers every damn week. I hold with them, don't I, Bo? And now he's the one that makes me lose a pick, essentially.
Let me tell you something. When I was losing 8 straight games and all the inactives and the injury reports on Friday came out, you didn't see me come on this show and start crying to people. When you lock in a pick on a Wednesday, you suck it up. And you go in there, guns a-blazing.
I know what you're talking about. And I told you, I warned you Bryce Young was coming back. And then what have you done? You've doubled and tripled down on the Panthers.
Well, it's worked out. But I'm not here
Hardly.
putting together screen grabs. I'm not here on a Thursday and a Friday talking about woe is me. When you lock in a pick on this segment, it's done. You put it in concrete. It's chiseled in granite, Damon Dawg. You knew what kind of show this was, the stakes that are on the line. You knew what kind of hellfire and brimstone you were walking into.
I didn't know McCorkle Jones was suiting up and putting on the
Hey, a lot of people think he might be up there.
Johnny is. You think he's going to give you an inch?
No
You
chance.
think he's going to give you a single centimeter with him being down? What was he to start the season? 0 for 9?
Welcome to the pros. Welcome to the pros. With that,
hey, CBK says in the chat here, he's right. I did find out about this Mac Jones news because he tagged me in a tweet saying you have to change your pick, and I immediately got to cooking on changing my pick.
not quick enough, CBK. Not quick enough. All right, let's get to this week here. Here's a holder fold the line. We'll rapid fire this bad
What a
boy.
bad guy. Seriously, what a bad guy Johnny is.
Just a team player.
Bo, get it started.
All right. Anytime you're going to give me plus money with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, Daddy's going to throw some coin down on it. I'm going to make it my pick.
Daddy?
Huh? What?
Daddy?
Look, I'm just feeling a little frisky right now. Plus 110. I know it's going to be a big game. Probably the game of the week. Bills, Chiefs unblemished on the season. Give me Chiefs money line plus 110 against Josh Allen and the Bills. I'm not too confident that the Chiefs are going to keep their undefeated streak going. But if you're going to give me Mahomes, Andy Reid, and plus money, I'm taking it.
I will hold with Bo here. I think listen, the Bills can't beat the Chiefs. Now, in the past, in the future, in the playoffs, Chiefs are a better team right now. Bills wide receiving core is banged up. Amari Cooper's been banged up. I'm all in on the Chiefs with D-Hop. They look like a completely different team. I'm hammering that hold.
Now hold on. I know there's a lot of animosity right now on the show, and just because Johnny held Damon with me, it's for me. It's not for Johnny that he's holding for mine. Like, will you? We kind of maybe extend an olive branch and hold together with us?
I want to, Bo, but this is a place of honesty and truth. And I love the thought process of plus money Mahomes. I agree with it, frankly. But I think the Bills win this game, so I'm going to fold because I think the Bills are going to treat this like the Super Bowl. Confetti will rain down from the rafters when they win this game. Mm-hmm. They will hang a banner. There will be a parade. It's going to be an insane scene. I think the Bills win.
All right.
All right, Damon, you're up next.
I understand it's because of Johnny, and I'm fine with it. I understand why.
Damon, you're up next, bud, unless you want to change it again.
I'm going to stick with this one. Packers by a touchdown or more against the Bears at plus 112. You know what? The Bears have quit.
Yep.
Yes.
Matt Eberflus is a bum.
Yep.
Yes.
He's maybe the worst coach in all of the NFL. The Packers own the Bears. I don't see a world where this isn't a Packers blowout. The Packers are coming off of a bye.
Oh my
Matt
God.
LaFleur off of a bye against Matt Eberflus. Yeah, I might even tease this up to like 20.5. Why not? I mean, the Bears are horrible. They're an awful team. Feed me all of that. And yeah, Packers continue to own the Bears.
Damon, it was 12 years ago next month. Cardinals lost to the Seahawks at Seattle 58-0. I think we're barking up a similar tree. I would hold and I would tease this to double digits. I have no faith in Chicago. That team is ready to quit. Caleb looks like a bust, 100%. I don't think you can tease that number high enough.
Yeah, it's a unified front. We are all in on that because you can lock me in at plus 112. Give me the pack. Go Pack, go.
The rounded out, the hottest member of this beat, looking for 3 in a row. Give me Atlanta plus 115 at the Denver Broncos. Broncos kind of been exposed as of late for being Fraud City. They lost last week. Big emotional loss to Kansas City. They lost to the Ravens the week before. I think we're going to find out a little bit closer. This is who Denver is. Kirk Cousins and company, Atlanta. I think they come in, they get a nice win on the road at Mile High. Bo Nix, come on. Raheem Morris, if you're a coach worth his salt, you play a joke schedule. You need to beat the Denver Broncos, albeit on the road. So give me Atlanta plus 115 on the road.
I'm gonna hold, even though I want Johnny to lose at this point, and I think there's been a real rivalry created here between me and him, similar to the one that he's already created with you. Going back to week 1 of this season. So I don't want to hold, but I'm going to because I think the Falcons are a better football team. And I think getting them at plus money is great value.
I don't see it. I don't see the Falcons going halfway across the country, playing against that defense. I don't think they get it done. What are they? They're 6-4.
Yeah.
They're 6-5 at the end of this week.
You can make all these bets and more with one of our presenting partners. Let's talk about them, our friends at Bet365. Get these lines right now. Plus, if you're with us on Samsung, jump on over to gophnx.com. If you're with us on the app, use the bonus code PHNX365. When you sign up, deposit just $10, place a $5 bet or more, get $150 in bonus bets right now. Perfect chance to dabble. Again, we got that boosted bet for you last weekend. James Conner money line, get you boosted. We're going to have more boosted bets coming up. We've got some real good insight for this college betting season this weekend. Of course, ASU's in action. Love the ASU money line this weekend. I think it's plus money right now, but you got to download the Bet365 app. Use the bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. Place a $5 bet or more. Get $150 for your first bet in bonus bets. Find out why, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary with Bet365. You got to be 21 and older, physically located in AZ. If you were someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
Always important who you're gambling with. It's always also important who you're getting new flooring with. And Empire today takes out all of the issues that you have, maybe complications as far as getting professional installated new floors, carpeting in your dwelling, your house, your condo. Empire Today. It's the best place to get new flooring. Of course, you got your copycats out there. Empire Today can't beat their quality, you can't beat their service, and you can't beat the speed and efficiency that they get it done. And sure, they won't promise the lowest prices, but anyone who does is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. And they got that price match guarantee where they're going to come, you can come back to them and say, hey, this, this big box store is doing it for this price. They'll match that. And of course, then you've got that with the assurance of great quality work being done with great quality products. Check out what's going on in Empire today and save money while doing so. Go to empiretoday.com/PHNX and you start your journey with $350 off right off the bat. empiretoday.com/PHNX gives you $350 off new flooring and Empire Today carpet and flooring.
Let's get to some of these super chats. Biscuit and Bears, $10. Two-part question. Love this. Future contracts, do they push money paid out 2 years past like J.J. Watt's contract? For the last 7 games, realistically, what do you feel like the win-loss record will be with those 7 games? Well, I can tell you the latter is going to be answered on a Friday show this week. We're going to give our official predictions for the second half. I think you're going to like what we have to say, Biscuits and Bear. But for the first part of your question, Bo, I think they want to try to pay a lot of this money up front because they have so much of it.
Yeah, I think they're in such a nice little groove as far as drafting, developing, hitting on draft picks, and that they're going to need some money down the road to keep these players in-house, that you're not going to want to kick the can down the road on contracts with some void years. So I think they're going to want to if they want people to come in and help supplement at positions that they haven't been able to address in the draft, that they'll probably pay up front.
Yeah. Chat 499 excuse me. Been doing some way too early PFF mock drafts. That's always fun. Love Abdul Carter or James Pierce in the first, Xavier Restrepo in the second, and Derek Harmon in the third. I wish I could tell you who a lot of those guys are. Here's the beauty of it, my man. We haven't had to do one mock draft on this show yet. You do you, but last year we knew all the prospects because, frankly, we had to. This team had 1 win.
Yeah. Times have changed. Like, we were fully entrenched in draft season at this time last season. Now we're just we're a little lukewarm as far as the draft goes, and it's just not as exciting as a draft season.
I think we did draft order graphics in like week 3 of last regular season.
Yeah. Well, it was a star-studded draft too. I mean, this year it's a little bit more meat and potatoes, but we will have full Senior Bowl coverage, draft coverage, combine, the whole deal. Cruise 199, get Kyle Brandt on the show, Steak Boy. Prius Boy, Steak Boy. We will do our best, especially in New Orleans for Super Bowl.
He was calling you Steak Boy, Johnny.
Yeah, he was. I get that. Got it. Here's what everybody needs to do. Like this video, subscribe to PHNX Sports with that smoldering man here on YouTube. Go to gophnx.com. Read Craig Morgan's most recent article. Our PHNX
guy was ready for the draft. That guy was ready for the draft.
He was. Cardinals playoff watch, a look at the current NFC postseason picture. Nobody does it better than our guy Craig Morgan. Nobody does it better to our diehards. Big congrats to our PHNX Suns team with their diehards event last night. There's that playoff picture. This is the perfect time to become a diehard. Suns, we feel like are in for a special season. Cardinals are in the midst of one. ASU bowl season. U of A, we won't speak of them, but they got a hell of a basketball team, right? So much good vibes. We got the hot stove cooking up for the Diamondbacks. Get all of that and more at gophnx.com, Bo Brock.
What happened to my once proud hot stove season? It's not what it once was, but can be. D-backs, they want to get better, so they'll be involved in some deals. But you're right. Make sure you're diehard today. Follow Johnny Venerable on Twitter. Follow Damon Dawg. Follow our guy Baldy NFL on Twitter as well. What do we got, Peter? Late edition here. Since my pal started wearing the hat, I got him from the stadium. The Cards have not lost. Rise up, Red Sea. You're a good person, Peter, for hooking your friend up with
somebody would buy me a hat.
Yeah. Get one from Venerable, one of our great sponsors, or the PHNXlocker.com. Follow Johnny, follow Damon, follow Baldy, follow me, follow the show at PHNX_Cardinals. Back with another live show tomorrow. Make sure to check out everything PHNX Sports on YouTube. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Talk to you.
We all silly like the mayor.